Hey, everybody, it's Drew Scooter from Sleep With Me Podcast. This is mostly for people that listen to Sleep With Me Podcast. But I had this idea that kind of came out of the story swamp or percolated up because of two different things. Um, but I'll try to give a short thing first. Like, if you're not in a position financially to support the show and you've tried our referral program or you don't use social media, so you're not able to refer people to the free podcasts and kind of get access to Sleep With Me Plus for free that way, let me know. Use the contact form on our website and we can work something out. That's what this announcement basically is. So please let me know if you can use the contact form on the website, and please watch the rest of this video while I explain it. So where did the idea come from? Two things. I did this video yesterday talking about people who listen all night long and how it's just not possible to make a free podcast where people listen for 8 or 10 hours a night. Just there's no financial way to support the work that goes into creating it, and how the majority of people listen to Sleep With Me linearly, right? Like they listen to the teaser, Friends Beyond the Binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all that, whatever else silly stuff I say. Then during the intro, they wind down, and then during the story, they fall asleep. That's how most people listen to the show. And, the only way we've had to adjust the podcast, because a lot of people do use Sleep With Me as a service versus just a podcast that they listen to. It's always been hard doing that, and figuring that out, and then adjusting like, well, I use it as a service this way is what we've made built Sleep With Me Plus around over the past, like based on our other subscriptions, is like, okay, how do we make something based on that? Most people either are happy to listen to ad-supported podcasts linearly, and then not the majority of people listen in all of these different ways. And so that's what we built Sleep With Me Plus for, because it's like, that's how we can support it, right? But I know there's people that aren't in a position to do that listen all night long. They can't afford to support the show directly, or people that listen in any different way. So that was one thing. And then I got an email from someone, and this is a pretty typical email I get in general, but if you've been paying attention, over the past couple of years, we've been asking, saying, hey, we're going to have to make some changes to the show and figure this out for the long term. And we're still trying to figure that out. But I got an email this weekend from someone, and I won't say their name or anything because I want to respect their privacy. And they were just calling to share their story, which is a pretty common thing. They subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts. They're a mother, a single parent of three kids. They're going to school and they have a job. And they're just sharing, like, that's that's why they listen to Sleep With Me, right? Because it's like that's how tough it is to sleep, right? That's going to cause some sleepless nights, and that's a lot to have going on. And they still pay for the podcast on Apple Podcasts, but they're telling me that how much they love the Frankenstein read along episodes. And so those two things were in my head over the weekend. And yesterday I was walking and I was like, wait a second, like, what if we had a pool, and there's already water in the pool from our listener, Cornelia, who's out there on the other side of the Rainbow Bridge now, because Cornelia was an active member of the referral program, which you can sign up for, sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer. And this was before we had Sleep With Me Plus, but Cornelia was very successful at referring people to Sleep With Me Plus or Sleep With Me through the free referral program. And I was like, oh, that's like some water in the pool, and I'll put some water in the pool. And well, I'll get to that part. But if you cannot afford to support the show, email me. First step is to do the referral program. So if you've tried the referral program and you weren't able to get anybody to listen to the free podcast, or if you just don't listen to if you don't use social media at all, so you're not in a position, like Cornelia referred hundreds of people. I looked up the stats when we started, like, to the free podcast. Like, and Cornelia didn't even do it for the rewards. Cornelia did it because she loved the podcast and believed in it. But anyway, if you're not in a position to support the show, send me an email through our contact form on our website, and we'll work something out. It could be, if you're not in a position to support the show at all, that's fine. If you're in a position where you could say what you can pay, and we'll create this pool that all these other people can draw from, right? And if you want to add to the pool, like you're in a different position, support the show on Sleep With Me Plus. Like if you already do, let me know, and you could like whatever, add $1 or something to your monthly support, and or add $5 or whatever, and we'll put that in the pool for people to draw from. Or just join the referral program like Cornelia did for free. And Cornelia would just post, hey, this is a podcast that works for me. These are my favorite episodes. Hey, this is how the podcast changed my life. Hey, this is how you listen to a podcast. And sharing Cornelia's referral link. And those that we'll put, you can just let me know, hey, I signed up for the referral program, but I already support the show on Sleep With Me Plus or whatever. But I want my referrals to go into this pool. And it's cool. Like, and again, like you can just send me an email. And I've heard, like, I hear from people, like, you don't have to, I realize there's going to be maybe people that feel a little bit strong feelings about it. Like, hey, I don't like, this is uncomfortable for me to share. Hey, I was a person when I started the podcast, I couldn't afford a car. And my daughter and I had to take the bus or walk everywhere. And we lived in a small apartment. So I know what it's like. And I've heard all the, like, I hear from a lot of people who can't afford to support the show, and they're not actually calling, like emailing to they're like, hey, this is how the podcast really is positive impact. Please keep making it. That's a majority of people who I hear from. So this is actually an actual bonus way of being like, hey, if you for those people that do take the time to let me know, hey, I love the podcast. It's really helpful. Another way is to support the sponsors. If you want to add to the pool, or add to the sustainability of the show, support the sponsors. Try out the free trials, check out our sponsors, and you can add to the pool for these other people. But I just like, the idea struck me. It's like, wait a second, we already have water in this pool. So if you're not in a position to support the show, don't hesitate. I'm not sure how I'll get this message out though. I guess I'll just keep posting these videos. And yeah, let me know. Are you in a place right now where you gotta, hey, draw some water out of the pool? Later on, you could put some water in the pool. Or are you in a position where it's like, hey, I want to add to this pool? Because I know there's people out there I mean, because that's what I'm saying. Like, I know, because it was like I know what it's like to be short, or just living paycheck to paycheck. So I totally get it. So it's just an idea I had. And let me see, I wrote stuff down. Sharon Pool, Cornelia, all night listeners. Yeah, again, so in summary, if you can't afford to support the show at all, send me a message if you want access to Sleep With Me Plus through the contact form on our website. If you could pay what you can, send me a message on the contact form on our website. If you've tried the referral program and you haven't been successful, or you just don't want to, just send me a message on the contact form on our website. Because it's just, I don't know why I didn't think of this idea earlier, because I have I did, like, I know one other big sleep podcast. He had told me a few years ago, when they changed how they did, like, their, like, sponsoring the show and stuff like that, oh yeah, we just like, we give out discount memberships and stuff like that if for all night listeners, that automated ads like break it up for them or whatever. So anyway, that's it. Thanks. And yeah, you can always get a hold of me. The best place to get a hold of me is the contact form on our website. I do read comments and stuff. But it's kind of hard to respond, other than a couple word response. So, thanks so much. Thanks, everybody.